Alright, hello again, and this time it's the second battle of Bull Run. This takes place as the first battle of Bull Run, interestingly enough, though it's at a different location with the forces because the South will be deployed over here and the Union will be on the offensive here against the Confederates towards the west rather than the east. So this is a rather long intro, and if you want to watch it yourself, you can watch the historical battles. I'm going to skip through it. So what we have initially here is a bunch of brigades, but I'm not going to waste my my good brigade, so to speak, on a smaller engagement here, and not going to risk my cannons either. And I saw the enemy had 12,000 men, so I at least want to match that. Okay, and I don't need the supply wagon either, just in case it gets captured. Alright, let's just get started here. So this is just an initial sort of skirmish. It represents how Jackson apparently did it. He wanted to lure Polk into attacking him, and he did that by sort of striking out a small force and basically saying to Polk, like, here I am, come in and get me. And Polk fell into the trap. He decided to attack on the next day, and we can discuss a little bit later about how that turned out. I want to have a quick look at the victory conditions here. You can see that you only actually need to hold the Stony Ridge and inflict 5% more casualties on the enemy. I'm hoping this will be changed because it is relatively easy to do this. If you hold the ridge, you're also going to hold or inflict 5% more casualties. There's just no way that won't happen. So I am going to go for this victory conditions where I go for Henry Hill. Both because it's more interesting to watch, and also because I'm, like I said, expecting it to be changed in the future. Let's make sure I keep track of my forces and keep them in cover here. I'm gonna try stopping the Union from moving too much into the cover. Give us some room to fall back on here. This is probably going to be the longest battle of the campaign so far. It's actually 3 days long, and this is the first day at almost dusk. So there's only 1 hour of playtime left, and then there's of course the next day where the Union will attack, and the third day I'll get to counterattack. So yeah, rather a long battle. But if you want, you're of course feel free. If you want, you're of course free to stick it out all the way and watch as the battle progresses. I have Patrick coming in here. You can see all the Union brigades are maxed out at 2950, so they definitely bringing a lot of forces towards my core sitting up here. Cole's core is it this time? Yeah, I don't think you'll have much success coming up this way. I have excellent cover here and good position to fire from to get superior fire on him. I'm gonna speed through this part of the battle a little bit. Something that's nice to know is the more you kill here, the less there'll be tomorrow to take care of. So that's something. I don't want to be too aggressive though, because I don't have any real good ground to sort of counterattack, and the Union has slightly more men than me at the moment. I'm expecting that to to change very much tomorrow. The skirmishers are proving to be a bit troublesome. Actually did a lot of damage here in a short amount of time. just fall back a little bit. Don't I already have one wounded general here. So Siegfried decided to turn around and help up here. It's probably an okay move. He's not getting shot in the back at the moment anyway. Just respond to this guy here. Alright, sorry about that. So some casualties here to begin with. Worst is that I lost a division commander, it seemed, actually. I wonder how much that will affect the efficiency of... here it is, the command penalty here. Yep. That hurts a little bit. And hopefully it won't be too noticeable tomorrow. Let's just let this battle end. There are a few minutes left. Gonna get some flanking shots. In my opinion, they turn a little bit too quickly, these units here. Okay, so proceeding to the next day. Right, so we have not sure how many men in the first corps, but it's certainly not 72,000, so there'll be 72,000 Union soldiers attacking. And definitely less in my corps. So yeah, we'll see how this battle turns out. I'm hoping to just inflict massive casualties on the corps coming in here for the attack. Gonna move up the rookies here again. Always the rookies on the front line first. That's where they are best spent. Can move in here as well. Gonna run them into position just to make sure, and I'm gonna put the cannons on hold fire initially. I want them here to be able to do crossfire on down on any troops coming up this way or this way, and if they do come up here, I'm gonna have a brigade here in the center to hold them back. I think this flank is a little bit overbalanced. I'm shifting troops this way here, and this guy can guard the gap here. And I'm gonna have the cannon up here as well, and not that interested in having a brigade up there, but I think it might be useful to have some some skirmishes just to be able to poke a little bit at the Union, just in case they decide to come up this way, and I can flank them a little bit here. Run this kind of position as well, and turn one off here. They can rest in the fortifications. So we occupied the railroad line and the second line to fall back on. The railroad line isn't not gonna hold out there forever, but it just it does delay the Union a little bit, and that's all I want initially, to just hold them back, because they have good cover over here to attack, and they can shoot back from here. So I'm gonna just fall back to the second line once there's too much pressure. And over here I'm actually gonna switch out these two here, and actually don't want Siegfried here at all. I'm gonna move this guy back and have my my elite brigade here in the center, so he can move towards both sides in case I need him. Generally, in defensive battles, it's important to have a reserve that is not committed, because you'll easily be able to move them towards the points where there's a lot of pressure. So it's important to keep to keep reserves. I might do this battle in 2 parts, because it's it's really long, but we'll see how it goes. So first I'll do the first day, and then the second day, because I think I think this is at least 2 phases long. This beginning here, 2 phases of 2 hours, but I haven't seen any Union troops left, so I'm gonna just speed past this section, and it seems like their whole corps hasn't shown up yet anyway. Yeah, so we'll just see what they do. I'm gonna send out just a scouting unit here. I'm gonna put a hold fire. I just have to make sure I remember to click the hold fire button back on. And I guess it's okay that we have a 2-star brigade here to hold down this line here. Yeah, I'm excited to see how well these guys will perform. They've done exceptionally well so far, and have a 2-star general in charge. Yeah, but then I'm just seeming like I'm waiting for the Union to do anything. I guess I can take the time to talk a little bit about what happened historically. So the Jackson snuck up this way and took position here. As I mentioned, he counterattacked down this way. I think where we were fighting before was, well, I'm not quite sure actually. Was it down here maybe? But anyway, Jackson attacked to sort of show his position, and Polk thought that he could wipe him out, and decided to attack, but his attacks were very uncoordinated. The attack on the left, where Porter was supposed to attack, I think never happened. And here the Confederates were able to hold the line, and in the end I understand that they were so low on ammunition that they were throwing rocks at these sort of astonished Union soldiers. They couldn't believe sort of what they were seeing. That's an interesting detail. Anyway, Polk kept attacking, and was sure that the Confederates were just about to break, and he was so committed to this attack that he never noticed the 30,000 Confederates that showed up here towards the end of the day. And the next day he resumed his attack without knowing that the Confederates were here. And when they attacked, it was just absolute rout, chaos, and the Union were driven back in a rather embarrassing defeat, and the Confederates took their campaign into Pennsylvania, I think, and that's where we had the Battle of Antietam. And that's what I hope will happen here as well. I'm able to defeat the Yankees and drive them off the field. And of course the campaign continues to Antietam anyway, but we can play a little bit of a history version of it here. So also a reason why I don't want to hold these lines forever is that the cannon fire will be rather heavy as they progress. I remember some battles the Union moved cannons really close, and it just became unviable to hold down the line. I haven't actually noticed. I'm noticing most of my forces over here, and there might be a sort of a weak point through the center here, but I think it can easily be reinforced from both sides in case the Union decides to attack. So there's no attack at all in the first phase. A bit boring, but I guess the Union has less time. Okay, so Porter's division is coming up this way. It does say here that we'll receive reinforcements, but I've never seen them come in. In this battle, so it's a bit disappointing. Okay, still gonna just speed forward a little bit until things get going and see what the Union chooses to do. It seems they're going this way, but you can never know. And their troops are definitely coming in, 60,000 now. I guess maybe the last 10,000 of them are acting as a sort of rear guard. If you play the Union campaign, you get the option of having a rear guard, and that's maybe what the AI does here, is have this rear guard. I guess the first Union brigades are coming in, and my skirmishers are just here to keep them busy for a little bit longer, and it seems to have a rather excellent range from these positions here. And I think I have my howitzers up here. I'm gonna try opening fire on the Union line and see if this can make any sort of difference. Not too much. I'm gonna wait with the cannon fire until we get to the second line. I'm going to try moving some artillery closer to down here and to see if I can do some damage before they reach the second line. I'd like to do some damage to these guys here, actually. Mostly their left flank here, and see if I can get some flanking shots off with my artillery. And the action is starting on my left flank as well, where I see Union brigades moving up swiftly. So I'm expecting a charge, and they'll try to drive me out of the fortifications here. So here is actually the first charge, but I think that should be rather easily repelled. I'm gonna move this brigade in here as a perfect vantage point to get flanking shots off, artillery is ready, and just, yeah. Don't want to charge with your flanks that exposed. And I wonder if Buford here will be able to hold the line initially. Yep, seems so. And here comes the second charge. It seems the fortifications are very strong. At least in melee, they really just hold down the line. It's only like a railroad entrenchment, so it's not like it's the strongest point in the whole world here. Looks cool from down here though, the line. Get to see the individual soldiers firing, and yeah, it's a cool panorama here, I think. Definitely feels like war. Gonna reattach the skirmishers. Okay, that was a bit unfortunate. Okay, this guy already needs ammo, so we're gonna move the supply wagon this way. It's fast. We only he was playing the first battle as well. That's probably why. Yeah, my elites here are definitely paying for themselves at the moment, just getting on the flanks of the Confederates here, and the 24 pounders as well, just doing lots of damage. It seems I can hold the railroad line at least for a while. Come on, supplies. Probably need to resupply this guy too. Wonder if this guy can hold out in melee as well. Yep, it would seem so. And more Union brigades are moving in. So generally just ammo all along the line now. I'm gonna dump some here and then just move the ammunition forwards. Trying to make sure everyone gets some. Guess I could have a brigade here too, actually. I usually do that, and I just don't know why I just forgot this time. 24 pounders just definitely pounding away here. Quickly running the wagon past them and making sure they all get some ammo. This guy desperately needs it down here. Gonna try just holding on to the front lines. It seems like it's going okay, and just have to fall back quickly if the cannons decide to fall and move in reserve brigades here then. One supply wagon suddenly seems like very little, not because it doesn't have enough ammo in it, but because it just can't be everywhere at once. Because I can switch out this guy here. Just fall back and let him rest a little bit. Gonna do the same here. The cannons can rake up some kills here. Let's see if I can fall back Siegfried here. Just checking for the next. Should be okay there. I'm gonna do the same here. Cannons are taking some counter fire here. I think I'm just gonna fall back to the second line anyway. There's no real reason to stay exposed here. I think I can actually just do more damage to them if they come up through here. I'm gonna run another supply route up here. gonna fall back these guys to their original positions. So fall back all along the line here. Gonna move Williams up here. And lose a little bit of men in the retreat here, but I think it'll be worth it later. Move brigades into reserve position up here, and I'm gonna switch one more brigade this way because it feels like they're a little bit too few to hold down the line properly. Because everyone has a command over here. This guy can occupy the line there. Yep, so the Union is trying to rush in across the open ground now, and hopefully my artillery will make short work of that. So massive attack coming in here. So I opened up the floodgates to a Union attack. Gonna make sure I have troops positioned on the flanks too. A massive attack coming in here as well. This flank is actually a bit thin. Wonder if I can't spare a few more men from over here to just guard this path. It's a bit of a mess right now. I'm trying to get my troops into battle positions. My artillery to do most of the work, but I think I placed all my good artillery over here, so that is a bit difficult as well. Oh, that is a lot. That is a lot of Union troops. They have the same number as me now, but really, that is just, it's just a lot. There's only 50 minutes left, and I think that will be the end of the first day. Making short work of Barney there. And running a little bit low on the supplies here, unfortunately. And a little low on morale, but he's holding this guy for now. brigade here is really making themselves useful. Not at the front line in this battle, but as a supporting unit, just getting all the kills here. Seems like I have just enough supplies to make it through the day. So for the next day I hope I can bring in the supplies I get from my second corps. And this is the candy for my artillery, I think. Just a mass of Union soldiers here. I'm just gonna finish the first day here and move on to the second one. So if I had more brigades or more corps, I could attack them, but I won't. So it's 63 against 67 now, so they lost about 5,000 men. Not more maybe? Or maybe they got reinforcements, I'm not quite sure. So a little out of position here. I'm gonna try moving up to the railroad line here and get into position. Slightly thrown off balance here by not being properly in position, but it looks like the AI will retreat. There we go. Alright, so we have actually the flanking force over here in my second corps. I'm gonna use some of them to sweep the Union lines, I think, and I'm gonna use some to just move around the Union flank. Definitely want my cavalry to move on the flanking force, but overall I want to go this way up and then this way. So take this hill first and then this one, because I think if I try going for this one, it's going to be very difficult. But I move up my cannons sort of aggressively here and see if they can do some damage to their lines. I'm gonna see if these guys can be attacked as well, and I definitely want my cannons to be in support of the attack over here. Okay, so we have that's too many. That's 10,000 should be enough to sweep this way, along with these brigades here and my elite brigade. Okay, they're actually coming in to attack. Feel free to do that. Gonna stay in the line up here then. And they have a lot of troops over here, so we're gonna stay in the entrenchments and just see if I can surprise them as much as Jackson did. Note that the battle has already been won though, but I'm gonna save it just in case it goes completely wrong. I'm sorry for being sort of a chicken here, but there's no real reason to risk my whole army for this attack other than for show, but I think it's much more interesting this way. These cannons in the flank attack as well. So all of these brigades here are gonna move this way into position. It took a little bit of a long ways, but we have quite a long time. There's another phase after this as well to perform the counterattack. And I'm going to see if I can shoot some of their artillery, since it's nicely sitting out there. Yeah, so 4 brigades might not sound like a lot, but it's actually 10,000 men, so I think, okay, that should be able to do some damage to the Union lines, right? And we have another brigade in support there. So you can imagine how scary it would have been. You sit and are actually thinking you're on the offensive, and then suddenly 30,000 Confederates come roaring at you, charging, shooting, and yeah, it must have been absolute madness to be a part of that. So if you remember this from the first battle, this is actually where the Union crosses. They cross here, I think, somewhere. Yeah, here. This on this crossing, the main Union line comes, and then the battlefield will open up soon this way, and get to see the whole battle unfold. So they do have some positions here on their flank to protect. So I'm going to move down through the center here and just make sure I get overwhelming fire on them while exposing myself as little as possible. I remember some of the earliest stages of the beta of this battle was so difficult because the veterans scaled very heavily, and you had less veterans as the Confederates here, so the Union would just attack very heavily. The fortifications were worthless, and you had to counterattack, and I think I lost, did I lose 20 officers in that battle, wounded and killed, but 20 had to be replaced after this battle, and I lost about 28,000 soldiers, I think. But I got to Henry Hill, I got all the way there. It was quite satisfying. So initially actually I've been able to drive them back without firing much, but I want to not have my elites in the front. But I want to get at their cannons here as much as I can. See if I can get some shots off at this position here. The Union has noticed they're being flanked, I think, and they're not too happy about that. Gonna move into these woods here. Just not with this guy. Moving forwards here. So they do have some rear guards. I think it's going to be a rather difficult counterattack because they have so I have 58,000 men, but I have to be careful where I go. But what I want to do is I want to push up this way, so once I've taken this high ground here, I can push in afterwards. Establishing a united front here now, actually, slowly anyway. I'm gonna run into these woods here and make sure yeah, this is where you get on the flanks. So as they retreat, you attack them. These cannons can go now on the flank here and shoot this way inwards. Hopefully I can generally just force the Union to retreat off the points. That would be ideal. It would cost me less men than to have to drive them off my keep. Just pouring on the pressure here, putting on the pressure, and do as much damage as I can. If I can take out their cannons, that is important as well. And the line seems to be be holding over here. Lots of troops seem to be concentrated in this corner over there. But I don't want to attack this hill directly. This is a much more suitable location up here. And I'm just gonna hold this line over here. Keep swinging the line this way. Occupy this rather strategic location here. It's will help push back the Union, and you can see the value here of just getting on the flanks, because this guy has nowhere to go, and I can get on multiple sides of him to fire. Beating back that brigade too, which will open up more space to be attacked. So if I can get overwhelming fire on this brigade here. This guy has a lot of cover, it seems. I'm gonna try charging him. I need to get him out of the way. He keeps blocking my progress up here. Alright, that seems to work slightly better. And I wonder if I can actually make a push on this hill at the same time, because it doesn't look like the Union has a very strong line up there. I'm gonna give it a try and just poke at their lines to see what they have. Always be ready to adjust your strategy according to its needs. You want to make small advances, secure your line, and make sure you have a good position to attack from, so you can attack both at the same time and also with overwhelming force. It'll definitely help you out when being on the offensive. Okay, definitely want to move into these woods here. I'm going to move brigades in on the flank here, just to make sure the Union doesn't come in and try counterattack. It seems like we wiped out the whole brigade down here. But now I can get cannons up here on the high ground. I want to have a force that I can, like immediately after the Union has been pushed back, I can move towards Henry Hill. This should actually be part of it. And just sweep up a few more forces this way. Yep, and this line here seems to fall rather easily. Of course, the player, when he plays this scenario, will be prepared for the counterattack should he get this far into the battle. But it seems like the AI is not. So I think that's kind of cool that you actually get to. Ouch, this hurts. Anyway, I think it's cool you get to actually relive the battle like that, and not have the AI sort of in any unfair advantage in that sense. I need my cannons up here to make the most use of the high ground. Also a reason why high ground is excellent, because it gives your cannon somewhere to shoot from. I'm gonna move my line forward here. I should be happy to occupy this ridge a little here for now, because it seems like the G unit is falling back towards Henry Hill. And, I would have liked to drive them this way instead of towards Henry Hill, but it seems like I've driven them off the hill in the wrong direction, so that is a bit unfortunate. Somehow I'll have to push through anyway. And over here, just lots of damage. I'm gonna resupply the front line here one last time, because it looks like I'm running out of supplies. Not sure where these cannons are going. I'm gonna fall back here and just establish a line up here to shoot at the Federals, and I guess the main push will come to have to come in this way. I was planning to go this way around, but obviously now I don't have enough troops here to match the Union line, so I have to break through somewhere else. I'm gonna have to do more or less what the Union tried doing at the first battle of Bull Run, is simply to press across. Here I have a slightly different position, but I am hoping I can manage anyway. I'm gonna have more brigades come in this way. This is gonna be the main push. Use this line up here to just do damage to the Union forces, and since they're retreating, I'm gonna follow anyway. So this hill will be sort of the stationary point. All the real thrust will come here. As you can see now, my forces are trying to pour into this gap into the Union line. I'm gonna finally have cannons on this ridge, as I tried to do for the last 5 minutes. The troops are not always completely obedient, I guess. Alright, so I'm gonna try moving across here. The line is getting a little thin here, but I think it can hold. I want these two just to move up, right, and we've broken another brigade. So I want to keep pushing on them and not let them reform. That's when you have trouble, if you let them reform their lines. Let's get up some cannons as well. I don't think I'll have time to move this guy as well. I only have 2 hours of the game time to do it. But I think you can see in this battle really like how important it is to get on the flanks of brigades when you're trying to attack. If you just go from the front, you're not going to do the morale impact you want, you're not going to do the damage you want, and your attack will just sort of come to a halt as you try to go directly against any forces you try attacking. Yep, so we're gonna try pushing up Henry Hill now. It's gonna be a little difficult because they have, I think, about 15,000 men up there now, and cannon even. But reinforcements are coming in, and have a wide flank on them here. So yeah, you can see here now, you recognize the area from first Bull Run here with the Union, or the Confederates. If you play them hold the line here, hopefully, so you win the battle. Oh, ouch. Okay, so here it really is the the Union troops. So again, I'm going to establish that position here, just to pin down troops. I'm going to use this tree line here to do that, and keep moving in. These skirmishers I have to deal with. And I wonder if I should move in more artillery this way. I'm going to move up an artillery piece this way and establish a line here. Keep moving forward. Ouch. This is gonna hurt. Getting up this hill, I can already tell. I have to try. That's the rule. So still having done 5% more casualties to the Union. So That is something. Gonna try doing something here I rarely do, but I think a massive charge here should break their line. I think most of their troops are stationed here. Gonna fall back a little here. Mostly use the tree line. I'd like to use the tree line to get shots off, both from the cannons and the heavy reinforcements coming in from the rear. Right. Let's see how this goes. And move up a secondary line to reinforce. Keep moving up. Charge. And these definitely need to move up the hill as well. Come on. Come on. Break the Union lines. Definitely shoot into the flanks of any Union troops that try turning to help. This is why it's also important to have like a secure location here, because otherwise all of these guys would simply move into the flanks of my poor charging brigades here. So massive melee now ensuing here, and yeah, just pushing up the hill here as much as I can. Only skirmishers holding on the line here, so I can just push up here. It would make much easier. I'm not sure I'm winning here, I'm losing. It's rather difficult to tell. All I know is I have more men trying to reinforce the troops here. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah, this really hurts, going on the offensive like that. Siegfried here is in close support. I'm trying to do as much damage with the cannons here as possible. I'm gonna try shooting here if I can get shots off at Krishyanovsky here. I remember him from Ultimate General at Gettysburg, almost up the hill. We're trying really hard to get up. I'm gonna send in the last men I think I can spare on this line. Just yeah. And seems the fighting has ended over there mostly. It's a desperate charge up the darn hill here. Keep pushing against the skirmishers. And finally, I think I can shoot down from them from the hill. Yep. It would appear that I have gained the upper hand now. I'm gonna charge these skirmishers here. Get behind here, so I'm gonna occupy the hill now. And can move cannons up here as well. Ouch, because they have the skirmish units on their flanks as well, of course. They do. Yeah, so this is costing quite a lot of men. Luckily still have their casualty rate. These skirmisher units are really hurting me a lot, and I'm not that happy about that. I want to see if the cannons can deal with them. I'm not sure if the battle ends once Henry Hill is captured, but I'm gonna have to find some way of dealing with the skirmisher units. My cavalry is not really equipped for handling cavalry. It's a free unit. As you notice, I don't use much of the utility units, if you want to call them that. So Henry Hill is secure, and we finally forced the Union to retreat. So you can imagine, like this, how big a disaster is this? And I realize this isn't what happened historically, but imagine you're stuck here now on the Confederate side of the hill. You just lost the battle, you're forced to retreat. You're cut off from the capital, and yeah, this would be a huge Union disaster. If this had happened in real life, I think the war would have been, I don't know if over, but definitely suffering a huge setback at this point. Several thousand Union troops would have surrendered at this point, I think. And yeah, just not pretty. Apparently they were driven off. I'm not sure if they escaped this way or what happened, but they definitely ran back to Washington afterwards. Looks like the Union is trying to make up a little bit for its losses and counterattacking. I am going to retreat this guy up the hill just to make sure that there aren't some cavalry or something getting in there in the last few minutes here. And I'll try to stay clear of this big mess here as well. Don't want to expose my forces to them anymore. So I started this battle with how many? 60,000, and I lost. Oh wow, I lost 15,000. So definitely the heaviest casualties I've suffered so far. And let's see if I can replenish my men before getting to Antietam. Gonna fast forward here and let the battle get to its end. Alright, so second bull run in one go. Should end very soon. I don't have time to go through the army management afterwards, so I'll leave that out of the video, unfortunately. I have to just quickly deal with this Union counterattack here. And really the 24 pounders here are doing heavy casualties. Whoa, okay, that's rather well coordinated, this attack. I did not see that coming. Luckily the battle will end. There we go. Thank you very much. So, rather big loss disparity, but still 15,000 of probably some of my best troops are gone, and I have many wounded officers. Did capture a bunch of rifles, so that will be useful in re-equipping my army. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next battles.